going on, guys? Alex here with 814 EDC, and today I'm ready to do my full review on the Remette Knives RT-Bee. This is in via the Lefty passaround group, so as always, a huge shout out to Kev over at Lefty EDC for always providing really cool stuff for us to check out. And yeah, this is the budget model of the RT-Bee. There are two premium models that are currently out of stock, but this one is still in stock on Remette's website, so I will leave a link to it down below if you guys are interested in going and checking it out. I think this is a fantastic budget offering for a really good price point, which we'll touch on later, of course, at the end of the review. But I was, I was hearing a lot of hype around this knife from the pass around group and from the guys in our Instagram chat, and so I was really excited to get it in and to check it out for you guys. And I think this is one of the best budget offerings around $50. So a little spoiler alert how much it's going to be. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into the review. Of course, let me get my little cheat sheet down here so I can jot down the scores. We're going to start right off with materials, so you guys can see that this is rocking some black G10 scales with some speed holes on both sides. You do have a righty only deep carry pot clip, but it is countersunk into the scales with flat screws, which is very, very nice. Nice deep carry clip, really like how it functions in and out of pocket. You have dual thumb studs as well as a little stubby flipper tab. Comes out with a sheep's foot style blade, Remette right there on the blade. This is a 14C28N bead blasted blade, which is really, really nice. You have a liner lock with proud liners, but there is some internal milling basically lined out where the holes are, which is kind of cool. You don't see that very often in knife designs. Ceramic bearings. One little quirk is you would think that this would be a filler plate for the pot clip, but it is a toothpick, which is really cool. It's a titanium toothpick. You see a lot of knives are starting to kind of add little things like this into blades. Sometimes you get a toothpick, sometimes you get tweezers, sometimes you get both. But it's really cool that they add that on there. Kind of a cool little feature. And you can kind of, play with it a little bit, kind of pull it out, turn it around, drop it back in. Kind of a little fidget factor. But yeah, really good materials. 14C28N is one of my favorite blade steels, and I think, it's a great budget offering. So I'm really happy that they are, I'm glad that it's one of my favorite steels that you can get for a very affordable price with different knives. But as far as materials are going, you guys know, 5 out of 5, no qualms whatsoever. Some quick specs for you guys. So you have an overall length from tip to butt of 6.97 inches. You have a blade length of 2.8 inches. You have a close length of 4.02 inches. You have a blade thickness of 0.12, a handle thickness of 0.47, and it comes in weighing 3.55 ounces, which honestly, it doesn't feel like it weighs that much. It's a good little amount of weight in your hand. Feels like you have a good amount of blade there to do things with, so not at all, an issue with that. And like I said, there are two titanium versions that are not currently available for sale because they are sold out. But I believe one is just a plain tie and one is a plain tie with a orange peel pattern. But I will leave a link in the in the channel down below if you guys are interested in picking up the RT-Bee. Go check it out, remetteknife.com. And yeah, we're going to move on to the rest of the review. Next up is aesthetic. Oops. I think this knife looks really good. I love the sheep's foot style blade. You get a nice amount of belly right here, nice thin blade stock. The speed holes, I'm not like the biggest fan of speed holes, but I also don't hate them, so I can kind of take them or leave them. I think the speed holes add a little bit of a element to this knife. I like the way the toothpick is just integrated into the end there. Like I said, looks kind of like a filler plate or filler tab for a reversible clip. I think the clip looks good. Just nice, simple lines. I mean, it's a very simple design, but I think it looks fantastic. I think it looks really good. The blade shape is just really killer in my opinion. And overall, big fan of how the RT-Bee looks. So that is going to get a 5 as well. Next up is the action. No blade play whatsoever. This thing is locked up super tight. Now, I was, in the middle of the list somewhere, so I don't know if someone, maybe Kevin, threw skiffs in here. But you get a really, really solid, you guys can pick up on that or not, a very solid detent. Thumb studs are almost like oversized thumb studs. I really like the way they feel. If you just build pressure, just flies out of there with your thumb flick. Feels really, really good when you do it. Of course, middle finger flick, Spidey flick, flies right out. Very, very consistent. Again, that detent is nice and snappy. I have fidgeted with this knife a ton in the times that I've been carrying it, and it has seen a ton of fidget time, just sitting there watching TV with my wife in the evenings. The detent is just tuned so nice for these thumb studs. And of course, you have the flipper tab up top. It's a pretty, short and stocky flipper tab. You get jimping right there on the front, kind of catch right onto the corner right there, and you can push button out. You can, of course, use a light switch method, but I definitely prefer the push button. You just kind of land right on top, catch a little bit of that jimping on the front, and it just bangs right out. Just a very, very fun knife to play with. You guys can see with the liner lock, drops, hits my nail. Typically, I don't drop it that low because this has cut my cuticle a few times. So the flipper tab will drop, and there's some few micro shakes, or it'll drop one big shake. Just a very, very solid knife, and especially for the price point that you're paying, the action really is just killer on it. This is just a very fun knife to fidget with, and it's so buttery smooth. Again, I don't know if it has stock bearings in it or not. I don't know for sure, but just very, very fun to play with, very fun to fidget with, and that is going to get a 5 as well. Next up is acoustics, and you guys know that this is kind of where the 5 Street comes to die. It is what it is. It's pretty hard to be perfect in the acoustics. You have to have amazing acoustics, and this has good acoustics. It's just not blowing me away or anything like that. Just nice sounds. Nice resounding thwacks on the thumb flick. On the reverse flick, you get really nice ones. On the flipper tab also, you get very nice resounding ones. It's good. It is really good. I'm not gonna sit here and act like it's not a good sounding knife. It just, it's G10. It's skeletonized liners. You're not gonna get, what you're wanting. But I really do appreciate a good, just listen to that. Just a good thwack. Just flies right out. Cannot complain. So I think I'm going to go 4 out of 5 on the acoustics. Definitely think that's a fair score for it. As far as G10 knives are concerned, it's very, very good. So we're going to leave it at that and move on. Next up is the Ergos. I think this is going to be a 5. I can already tell this is going to be probably a 34. It's probably going to get a 5 out of 5 in the Ergos, carry, and price point and value. So 34, I'm sure, is what's going to be. But this is a very, very comfortable knife in hand. It's just big enough to where I can fit all 4 fingers in the knife choked back here. You guys can see this nice, generous forward finger choil. You do have a nice natural restriction point there with the flipper tab. You have a little bit of a finger groove right there with the liner lock, and then a rest follow suit. It does jut up a little bit here, kind of like a rifle stock, but I just have enough on there to be very comfortable. There is some jimping up top there. Very, very comfortable. Thumb either lands right on the jimping or it lands out past it. If you're going to be doing push cuts, gives you really good control over it. Then you slide your hand up to get on that choil. That is also a very, very comfortable. This is just so locked into your hand. Very comfortable grip overall, choked up. The G10 has a nice little amount of contouring to it. There's no sharp edges or anything like that. The pot clip, while it is a loop over style deep carry clip, so you're going to have a little bit more clearance down here, a little bit more sticking up out of there. It sits right into the, like I like to call it, the first kind of palm or the first knuckle crevice right in there. Fits really good, and then when you choke up, it alleviates, it's not even an issue with the edge of the clip, but it just alleviates whatever's there, and it just makes it that much more comfortable. It's very, very good in hand. Like I said, it's like 3.35 ounces, so it's not like the lightest knife in the world, but I think that a little amount of weight gives it just a good, strong feeling in hand. I would love to handle the titanium version in the future and see how it stacks up to this one. But as far as Ergos are going, it's very comfortable in hand. It's a nice, small, overall overall, it's a pretty small knife. It's sub 7 inches total overall from tip to butt. Just very, very comfortable, and we're going to get back into the 5 category and get 5 out of 5 there. Next up is carry. Sits down in your pocket with a deep carry clip. You have maybe that much taken about your pocket, just a little tip right there. No issues whatsoever. I wish they would have done, well, I guess you can't really do a reversible clip whenever you have this toothpick in there. So, I mean, I guess that's not the end of the world. I can't really, you know, I don't care too much about it because I'm not lefty, but I think it's kind of, there are certain knives that I've reviewed that have no issues at all and should have a reversible clip that don't, and then I take a little bit of issue with that. But again, you do have a toothpick over here, so that would take away from, you know, having a filler plate. But sits down in your pocket very well. It's a small knife. I mean, it can fit almost into my palm of my hand or my fist. Sits down in your pocket. You do have a small but very, very, you know, considerate finger or flipper tab with the jimping on that's not very aggressive, so you're more than likely just going to bounce your hand off of it if you're down there getting something underneath it. You know, it's pretty nice compact package there. No complaints whatsoever. I think I carried this in shorts one day before it got cold out. I primarily carried this in jeans. I've carried it around the house in just my pocket of my gym shorts. It works very well. You know, can barely tell it's there. So again, no issues with it, no complaints, no cons, a lot of pros. 5 out of 5 on the carry. That leads me to my last category of price point / value / what I recommend this knife. Guys, this thing goes for $57 on Remette's website. I think that is a fantastic deal. I would pay up to $100 for this. I really would. I think that you are getting a very, very good value with the Remette RT-Bee. You know, I know black G10 isn't like the cup of tea of everybody. I think I'm a little bit over it at this point just because so many knives come in black G10. But honestly, there's no issues with it. Whenever you have a knife that's this good that has black G10, I just think you kind of overlook it. I would love to see like a micarta version of this. And I think Remette knows that they have a good product on their hand with the budget version of the RT-Bee, also with the titanium version as well. You know, make some more budget versions, make micarta, make, you know, fat carbon would be amazing in this knife. But for $57, you're getting a really nice, very usable Warncliffe style, or excuse me, sheepsfoot style 14C 28N blade. You're getting amazing action with front flick, thumb flick, I guess, reverse flick, and of course a flipper. You get great closing action. You get a really nice carry with the deep carry clip. You get a little, you know, technically a multi-tool because you have a toothpick in there, which is really cool. You never know when you might need that for all kinds of applications. Nice compact package, feels really good in the hand with the ergos. I mean, I don't know how you can complain about this. You know, I can, like I said earlier in the video, got a 34. It's a fantastic. You're losing a point because of acoustics, but honestly, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Acoustics is the worst part when it comes to reviewing knives, because in the end of the review, it doesn't matter like how the knife sounds, how it performs. It just keeps it from being a perfect knife for my review system. But that doesn't mean that this isn't a perfect EDC knife. You know what I mean? Like I said that backwards. I kind of just contradicted myself. But it's still very, very good. It's a damn good knife. I have really enjoyed having it in. And, you know, who knows? I might pick one of these up at some point. I might wait to see if they come out with some more options. Even some different G10 colors would be cool. But it's a very, very good knife. Very fun to fidget with. Very fun to carry. Very fun to use. Like I said, I think Remette has a great product in their hand. I think that they can continue to use this and to build off of this platform like so many of their knives, or so many other companies with, you know, knives that are uber popular. They just continue to build off of them. And I think that Remette can do so with the RT-Bee. But like I said, 34 out of 35, that lands it in the fantastic category, 1 point away from being perfect. And yeah, I mean, I really don't have much else to say. I think that this was, you know, a pretty solid review, pretty solid knife overall, a great knife overall. And yeah, but this was my full review on the Remette RT-Bee. Again, huge shout out to Kev over Lefty EDC for allowing us to check stuff out. And yeah, guys, that's about all I have for you guys today. So I'm going to wrap this up now. But thank you guys again so much for watching. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you guys. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your morning, evening, day, night, whenever you're watching this. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.